I really feel like it's a strong class, as it's spread out amongst so many different positions, we feel really confident of the caliber of student athlete that we were able to attract to Bucknell. Uh, Most of these guys are certainly capable of coming in and contributing as a freshman, perhaps as a starter. We are going to come off a class this year with a spring season, hopefully, of a lot of starters that will be graduating. So we're going to turn to this group and they're going to have to step up, as do our underclassmen, to really take the progress that we've made on the whole as a program over the past 2 years and take that next step. We're hopefully going to be in a position where we're going to be defending a Patriot League championship come the fall if we do our job and keep working really hard over the next couple of months going into a spring season. But we really do feel like these are the right men to help us sustain that momentum, continue to build the program both in talent and in depth. It really was obviously a very unique situation. The way a typical recruiting cycle works, you get to know players, prior to their senior year starting. A lot of them will come and visit sometime in the spring. We hold a number of junior days to get them on campus and get introduced to some face-to-face contact with the coaching staff. In the summer, you have football camps where players come to your campus and get exposed to campus life. And that's a great recruiting tool in the end, although that's not the primary goal for that. But you inevitably wind up, coaching guys during those football camps that wind up a part of your program. So all of these things were taken away from us. In the fall, typically players, when you have a season, you're bringing players on for official visits, paid visits where you're paying to bring them to your campus. They spend the night, typically watch a football game, get around our players, get to know the culture, and really get a good sense of what the coaching staff's camaraderie and how they gel together and what their personalities are like too. So it was a huge challenge for us to address these areas when the NCAA, due to the pandemic, said, hey, you can't do any of these things anymore. So it was really, really critical, for us. Basically what we're doing now, you rely on technology. We can't meet all together in a room, but we can do it remotely. So that was huge for us early on, adopting, technology as the way to best represent everything what Bucknell is as a university and as a football program, and getting that information to our prospective recruits. Whether that's, obviously phone calls is important, but Zoom meetings with our entire staff or with our offense or the defensive staff, meeting with the players, getting our own players involved again, since they really can't get a sense, they can't spend the night. So having Zoom with our players together, speaking with the prospects so they can ask questions of them and get a feel for that. It was to us developing a video series where we basically try to bring, Bucknell and what is life on the range, as we refer to it, and try to bring that to a recruit who might be in California or Arizona, who's never been even in the state of Pennsylvania. And we're trying to get an accurate representation about what Bucknell is. Now, nothing can take place of getting that person here. But this was the hand that we were dealt with. It was out of our control. So we just did the best that we could to roll with the changes. And I'm very pleased with the end result. Well, in an ideal year, yes, you're bringing in, multiple players at multiple positions, and it's pretty spread out amongst the class. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting closer. A lot of that's, dictated by the current depth chart that you have at particular positions and what players are going to be graduating prior to this incoming class showing up as first-year players. So it's a combination of those two factors. But if you're doing it right, you're out there on a pretty consistent, rotation where each year you're bringing in, one quarterback and and one wide receiver and one running back and a couple of offensive linemen and a tight end or two, and the same thing on the defensive side of the ball. So we try to get it to the point where we do spread it out, but ultimately you're at the mercy of what your depth chart is going to look like. And we don't typically go every kicker every class, but certainly this year that was really, really important. You know, not only is Ethan graduating, but Tyler Kaiser, who played in a couple of games last year as well, he's going to be graduating. So we're losing two this year, and Tyler was a walk-on who's already made a lasting impact in our program and helped us win some games. But you know, losing both of them really put a priority on that position, and hopefully, you know, with Nick Naminsky coming in, and he has a very talented leg, we're hopeful that he'll be able to step in and fight for that starting position, along with a couple of kickers there that will still be within our program. But you know, he certainly has the talent to join us and be a 4-year starter. When you have you know, a different scheme on offense, defense, different skill sets that you're looking for, anytime that you can have you know, an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator like we have, who are guys that have been here, been through the fire, they know exactly what they want, they know what we're lacking on those sides of the ball, and they can go out and fill those needs. You know, it gives you a definite step up. I should also add that, you know, that's another issue of the pandemic, which makes it really tough, is that you don't have that ability to go out and attract nationally the way we did a year ago, because of some of those limitations. You know, it really is something that, as you're going out there and trying to find that particular talent to suit your needs, for us this year, naturally, if you look at the class that we recruited this year compared to a year ago, you'll see a little bit more regional recruiting emphasis, as opposed to a national recruiting emphasis, which we had last year, which obviously comes out of necessity. The fact that a lot of people that were, you know, an hour or 2 hours away from our campus were able at some time on their own be able to jump in the car and see the campus on their own. And obviously that's a little bit more challenging when you're coming from Texas, or you're coming from Florida, or you're coming from California, places like that.